Good afternoon from the KUOW newsroom. This is Seattle Now. I'm your host, Paige Browning, with today's top stories. It's Wednesday, May 27th. 2 people are now confirmed dead after a chemical tank rupture at a Longview, Washington paper mill yesterday. OPB's Eric Newman reports work began today to recover the remains of those who are unaccounted for.
In addition to the 2 confirmed fatalities, 9 employees are still officially unaccounted for at the Nippon Dynawave paper mill in Longview, Washington. On Wednesday afternoon, Washington State Governor Bob Ferguson described the scope of the disaster.
We're bracing ourselves for this being the deadliest industrial tragedy in modern Washington state history. When you have a tragedy of that scale, the impacts on individuals, on families, and on communities is profound.
The incident happened Tuesday morning during a shift change when a large tank of caustic chemicals ruptured. Investigators are trying to understand the specific cause. Emergency responders say some of those chemicals did wind up in the Columbia River next to the mill. They're warning people to stay out of nearby waterways. I'm Eric Newman reporting.
Moving on to our other top story today, affecting would-be green card holders. A new federal policy change indicates many immigrants will now need to leave the U.S. in order to apply for a green card. In Washington state, that could affect thousands. Gustavo Sugrero reports.
The new policy says green card applications from within the U.S. should only be considered under extraordinary circumstances. A USCIS spokesperson told Newsweek that could include people who, quote, provide an economic benefit or are in the national interest. Seattle immigration attorney Tamina Watson specializes in employment visas. She says it'll be chaos if local workers have to leave their jobs and families to apply for their green cards abroad.
Businesses are going to have to decide how they're going to manage this. And so I think the myriad of problems are not necessarily even showing themselves yet.
In 2023, 32,000 immigrants in Washington obtained green cards. About half went to family members of U.S. citizens. Mexico, China, and India were top countries of origin. A lawsuit pushing back on the policy is expected. Gustavo Sugrero, KUOW News.
One less attorney will be working on green card applications. Tequila lawyer Alexandra Lozano has surrendered her law license, according to the Seattle Times. She's accused of fraud and malpractice and allegedly charged clients upwards of $15,000 to file their green card applications, whether they were eligible or not. She denies the allegations, but resigned prior to a disciplinary hearing at the Washington State Bar Association. We've talked a lot about the unstable operations at the King County Regional Homelessness Authority, and now Pierce County is moving towards creating its own regional homeless response, but leaders say they're trying to avoid repeating the same mistakes. KNKX Murrow News fellow Nate Sanford has more.
A new resolution passed by the Pierce County Council says the county plans to work with other local governments to form what they're calling a unified regional approach. The idea has echoes of King County's Homelessness Authority, which was created in 2021. That agency has struggled with fiscal mismanagement and now faces calls for a disbandment. At a recent meeting, Pierce County Councilmember Dave Morrell and his colleagues said their county's approach will look very different.
The number one goal has got to be transparency and fiscal oversight. So, and communicating that with the public so they understand that the model that we're trying to build is different than the model north of us.
Current plans call for a smaller approach than King County's. The new resolution asks staff to start drafting an interlocal agreement with cities in Pierce County. Last year's point-in-time count found nearly 3,000 people living unhoused in Pierce County, an 11% increase from the previous year. I'm Nate Sanford, reporting.
A couple of pieces of spicier news have our attention today on yachts and nude beaches. First, King County Superior Court's hearing a lawsuit this week over Seattle's management of Denny Blaine Beach, a nude favorite. Amy Radel explains.
A neighborhood group sued the city of Seattle last year, saying it was failing to address sex acts and indecent exposure at Denny Blaine Park on the shores of Lake Washington. The city responded by installing fencing around a clothing-optional area and increasing patrols by police and park rangers. Another group, Friends of Denny Blaine, is defending the park as a historic nude beach and gathering space for LGBTQ people. They say the city has adequately addressed neighborhood concerns. Plaintiffs say the city has allowed the park to become a public nuisance. Nudity is allowed under Seattle city law, but not flashing or conduct meant to alarm others. Amy Radel, KUOW News.
Now to yacht news. Mark Zuckerberg's mega yacht called Launchpad just docked in Seattle in the wake of mass layoffs at Meta. Monica Nicholsberg reports from Lake Union.
At nearly 400 feet, the launch pad is hard to miss.
We deal with the big boats coming in all the time. So yeah, they take our sun.
Tori Parrott is president of a boat brokerage that owns the marina next to the launch pad.
You can see this cutout right here, and all the toys are under there. Jet skis, speedboats, fishing boats, all the toys that somebody would want on a big mega yacht.
Zuckerberg doesn't appear to be on board. Parrott said boats like these dock in Seattle for maintenance on their way to Alaska.
And those guys on the top who are cleaning, what are they wearing?
They've got harnesses because they're so high, so if they fall, they'll get caught. It's like climbing. They're going to be cleaning for a few days, getting her all ready.
The boat's arrival drew some protesters. This week, Meta cut about 20% of its Seattle workforce. Monica Nicholsberg, KUOW News.
Turn on the security cameras in Soto. That is the request some Seattle City Council members are making to the mayor. Anna Boyko-Wyrock has more.
Right now, the cameras are off by order of the mayor. In March, Mayor Wilson said she would only turn them on if there was a credible threat. Councilmember Rob Saka says that's not good enough.
Preparedness means planning for the worst-case scenario before, not after.
Saka put on a dramatic show at a city council meeting Tuesday. He wore a bright tracksuit and recounted his experience running the Boston Marathon when it was bombed in 2013.
All the confusion, all the fear, all the chaos, and the realization that such a joyful global event could, unfortunately, become a mass casualty incident in an instant.
He said closed-circuit cameras were vital to catch the bombers. Anna Boyko-Wyrock, KUOW News.
From personal safety, we now move into personal health and really what it costs. People who buy health insurance on the Washington State Exchange could pay an average of 22% more next year. Insurance Commissioner Patty Kuderer says the companies who will offer policies next year just proposed higher premiums.
With the uncertainty and the volatility out of the other Washington, the failure to pass the enhanced premium tax credits into law, all of that has an impact. And the insurance market is responding to that.
Kuderer says her office will analyze the requests this summer to make sure they're justified. Last fall, Kuderer's office approved 21% rate hikes on average. A couple short notes to send off. The Seattle Symphony has announced its new CEO. It's Jeremy Rothman, who's the chief artistic officer at the Philadelphia Orchestra and Ensemble Arts. And the Seattle Times reports he'll start the job on September 1st. Rothman told the paper he wants to demystify the experience of going to the symphony and create a welcoming environment for audience members of all ages. And in news of a different tune, a new class action lawsuit accuses Amazon of using bait-and-switch tactics against customers. The company's Subscribe and Save program is at the heart of the complaint. 3 law firms, including Seattle's Strip Matter Law, claim Amazon lures people to subscribe to low-price items, then dramatically increases the price on future shipments. Amazon has not commented on the lawsuit, but told the Seattle Times that Subscribe and Save is designed to help customers save time and money. Next time on Seattle Now, UW neurology residents are honing their diagnostic and communication skills with help from UW drama students who are playing the roles of patients and their family members.
Residents really engage in the simulation and they forget everything around them, and they are there. So I truly believe that we are building a much different form of emotional connection to the lessons learned that way.
Learn more Thursday morning. That's all for today from the KUOW newsroom in Seattle. Our producer is Andy Hurst, and I'm Paige Browning. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. See ya.